Hi, my name is Eric Johnston, and I'm an aviation photographer. Join me as I document all kinds of aircraft from big to small and cool to, well, really cool. This video is proudly sponsored by Air Models. Check out their excellent variety of resin and die-cast aircraft models, with over 400 commercial and military aircraft and helicopters available. Click the link in the description to see more from Air Models. What's up, guys? Over here at the Mid-American Flight Museum today. Came to hook up with meet up with Brian, but I can't find him anywhere. We're gonna do a video on the Corsair annual, but you know, they're oh, there he is. Hey man, what's up, dude?
Hey, just give you a hard time, buddy. How you doing?
I'm doing good. So this is the Corsair, right?
This would absolutely be a Corsair. This is our Mid-American Flight Museum Corsair Marine's Dream, and we have her in here. Just finished up the annual on it. Pretty close to being completed.
Who's the other guy there?
This is my son Brian.
Hey, Brian.
So he's not a junior. It's spelled with a Y, not an I. But anyway, and we thought that would be a little definition, but it still hasn't helped very much. He's still little Brian, and I'm still big Brian. So.
Or junior around here.
It works out. But Brian's been helping.
Let me get close on this. So when you crinkle that, I can get that
Oh,
audio.
I'm so sorry. Hey, keep hydrated. I think we had a video like that before. Remember? Don't forget, stay hydrated, right?
Where's Steve? Is he in?
Where is Steve? Yes, hydrate, hydrate, hydrate. Y'all go back and look at that video. You'll love it. I'll put this down so I quit doing that.
So tell me some of the things that are involved on an annual inspection on a Corsair.
So anyway, so we open it up. You can see all the cowling are all firewall forward. So we'll go through and we'll pull plugs, do compressions, you know, change oils, pull screens, check screens, all that good stuff, firewall forward. Fuel screens, fuel filters, all that, check all of that. Basically open it up from nose to tail, put an eye in, lubricate everything, and just make sure everything is functioning and working like it should. Looking for cracks, wear, tear, you know, just standard items. A couple things we did find just go around is the top attach bracket on the rudder had gotten a little loose, so we replaced that. Brian actually replaced that. And you know, just some small things like that. But really, we're pretty fortunate here at the museum. We have really nice aircraft, and so our annuals for the most part are pretty easy because they're just super nice airplanes, and we just go through and make sure everything's still up to speed.
While we got some of the panels off, can you point out a few things? Like, what's the green stuff?
That's the
blue
engine
stuff?
right there. That's the as long as that's making noise, everybody's happy. This is the big spinny thing. It's a propeller.
Propeller.
As long as it.
No, you probably know the answer to this. Do you know what that's for?
Gosh dang it! See, I knew you were going to do something like this to me.
Really? You don't know?
I don't know.
Brian?
Tell us,
Patrick. What? That's a Patrick question.
Patrick, do you know what the little round
Push-in button
knob is on the cowling? Do you know what that's used for?
The push-in button on the cowling.
Yeah.
I don't know which one you're talking about.
It's about the size of a silver dollar. It's about that big or so. Right on the
speed ring.
Yeah.
On the speed ring.
A lot other World War II airplanes have them.
No, I don't know.
It's where it was mounting for a work stand that they would come in, and it would just attach there.
See?
You know,
There you have it.
Early war, it was a pull-out, and it was just a bar you'd stand on.
like the T6.
Yeah.
Exactly right.
Okay.
Yep.
See, he doesn't need me. He doesn't need me. This is the Eric show.
I'll be finishing the video. No, let's walk around and show you.
But back to the propeller. This is a spinny thing. When it goes around, the pilot keeps from sweating.
That's the
So
big
we want to
thing.
have that going around. But no, we can.
Man, the engine is gorgeous. Though.
We can show some things on this. You know.
How much horsepower is that engine got?
Patrick, what's the horsepower?
Oh, I don't know, 20,000.
20,000.
20,000 miniature horses.
20,000 miniature horses.
Oh dear Lord, we are so in trouble.
Now the Corsair's
YouTube's going to kill us.
got the characteristics of being very quiet because all the exhaust, I mean, that's obviously taken apart, but all the exhaust on this model Corsair comes out is deflected down. And the Corsair, it's actually, I can't remember, the one I flew in, I can't remember what model it was, but it's surprisingly quiet. especially on final when you pull the power back. It's so smooth and quiet. It gives the illusion like the engine's not even running.
If the pilot's not sweating, the engine's running. But anyway, you can see here our firewall. This the big green thing is the oil tank, and you can see just how nice it is still even after all these years after restoration.
That's the oil cooler.
That's
right?
correct.
And most of these 2800s are 2,000 horsepower. I don't remember which dash number this is in particular, but that's a pretty good rule of thumb, if you will.
That's what I thought was 2,000.
Yep.
I like your extra zero though.
Yeah.
It's awesome. It was awesome.
And we got some video. Patrick and Brian sent me some video of the gear retract that I'll probably put here in the video like right now.
Yep.
Bam! And there you go.
There it is.
Hey, let me show you a cool thing about the gear retract. You ready?
Yeah.
Are your old man knees working?
Mine, yeah.
All right,
Show
come
me.
on. Let's go down here. Let me show you
Let's
something.
do it.
Let me show you something cool down here. All right, so you guys out there, when you see, if you're ever in a Corsair or in a wheel well, and you see this block back here and it's got some grease smeared on it, you're gonna be thinking, oh man, what a mess, why is that grease there? That is actually there for a reason. Because if the cable that pulls the gear strut back ever breaks while it's in flight, it'll come back against this block, and that block will allow it to slide out and be able to allow you to drop the gear and get the gear extended. So there always should be a layer of grease on that block.
I never knew that.
See
And
there?
The wheel comes back, and we'll show you. You probably saw it in the gear swing. It comes back, and the pivot's 90 degrees to fit up in there.
Absolutely, it's a lot of movement going on with the landing gear on this airplane. It's a pretty neat to see, and it's very different from most other things.
And there's the adjustable vent.
That'd be for the oil cooler flap.
Oh yeah, oil cooler flap.
So you can-
I'm trying to remember the fancy name for that one.
Yeah, we're struggling today. It's late in the day. We're all tired. It's been quite a busy day for us.
It's warm. It's Texas.
It's warm. It's Texas, and we're just having fun, man. We're just enjoying being here.
Let's check out the wing fold mechanism.
All right, can you get up, old man?
I'll try.
All right, that's me. Crack, 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 crack. All right.
Let me help you.
Hey, thanks, buddy. And again, you can see the immaculate job that they did with the restoration, and we try to keep it clean and keep it up and keep it looking as nice as it is. It's just really an honor to be part of it.
What's cool, this part, when the wing spreads, comes down, I'm trying to do it looking through the camera, and then it goes into here.
That's right.
And the thickness of that bolt is about like that.
This is actually a pin that comes through. Yep, and it extends through. So yep. And it's all worked by hydraulics. And
it's amazing the ingenuity behind this.
absolutely.
And they can be done mechanically, manually.
Yep, they can also be done
It
manually.
can be done. The flaps, the gear, everything can be pumped manually.
Yep.
I think, right?
Yep.
Also the gear, right?
Yep.
I think.
Yep. We also still have an original camera. It's not functional, but it is actually still installed.
So all that black and white
Yep.
footage of them shooting
Right.
down the bad guys, that would come from those
That
cameras
would come from
right
those
there.
cameras. Absolutely.
Now, is this the...
Don't push that.
Oh, sorry. This one?
Okay, so different. You'll see that. It's shiny. I must push. So, as the hydraulics operate, as the hydraulics operate and different functions happen, that would be a release valve to say, okay, this part of this function is done. It hits this. See this the little stopper right here? You see that right there?
Yep.
So it would come down and contact this and say, okay, to the system, okay, hydraulics now bypass this system because it's completed its function. So that's what that's all about.
Now, there's...
Don't be touching stuff you don't know what it is.
Man, shoot. Now...
Because there's actually,
Speaking of
if
flaps.
the flap was on here, here you go. So there is a step built into the flap to help you get up onto the aircraft. So again, flaps down to be able to retract the wings, or once you've landed the aircraft, flaps will be down.
How can that step help you get on the airplane when the flap's over here?
Well, because it's off for maintenance right now.
Gotcha.
So don't.
I'm not making such a serious video.
I'm gonna beat him. There's
There's
gonna be.
cockpit there.
He was making airplane noises earlier. I don't know if y'all heard him or not, but he was pretty sure it's a pretty
Can we get a
aggressive dog fight he was in.
Of what?
Can we get a cockpit checkout?
You can. What are you looking for?
Where's the go knobs?
Go knobs are all over here. The stick's kind of a ghost. Sometimes the autopilot does its own thing. All your go switches are over here on your right. All of your engine controls are going to be on your left here. Your throttle, your supercharger shifter, your mixture control. Flaps are up here. It's a rod going down. All your controls go through bulkheads. You have your gear indication. Yep, hydraulic pumps, stick.
Where's the wing fold mechanism?
All your wing fold mechanisms are actually all back here.
Oh man. That's,
Yep. So your wing fold.
I guess you don't need it to be that convenient. You're not doing it all the time.
Correct. Your wing fold selector is right here. Your lock is this pin right here. Not to be confused with this, which is your drop tank releases, manual releases, which is conveniently, you look at those two flaps, your two indications for your locks on your wings right at the junction there.
A little bit. You may not be able to see it. It's right there.
Yep.
Maybe on the. Maybe you'll see it.
Yep. So you look at those two guys and you would think that it would be either of those. It is not. That is good to keep that separate. And if you notice, a lot of they started figuring out with the Navy fighters that there's a huge advantage being able to see underneath you. And so because this sits so high, they actually had a clear panel on the floor. So that panel's removed, but it's actually one big piece of plexi. So as you flew over various ships or carriers, you could look down, and without having to change your angle, since you're in formation, that would be inconvenient. You could look down and you could see the number on the ship, and you'd be able to orient yourself.
That's cool.
Yep, and potentially in a fight, see something directly underneath you.
Hey, while you're up there, take a look at our back seat. We have one of the very few Corsairs that have a back seat.
It's got a back seat.
Yep.
And this, out of all the ones that have a back seat, this is probably the safest one because of the egress panels on each side. Maybe see them there. Kind of hard to see it there. It's got large egress panels to get out of this thing if you need in an emergency situation. And the pilots call it the hose nose. Because if you get a pilot standpoint, it looks like a long piece of hose.
It's hard, it's bright out there.
Yeah, it's true. It's probably washing it out. And these things had a bad problem with balancing on the aircraft carriers when they first came out, and same thing with the Helldivers as well. So what they did, I'll go back to the strut here in a minute and show you, they made the struts full travel, and then that's what solved the issue. But the balancing was such a bad issue that they stopped flying them, stopped operating them off the carriers for a while. Until they figured that out. They did the same thing with the Helldiver, maybe some of the other fighters, I'm not sure. But once they did that, it was a lot more manageable. Once they did that, even on pavement and fixed runways, it was a lot easier aircraft to land at that point. And is that the fuel tank right up there?
Yep, you got it.
So much light. There we go. Now this white, this is paint, but back in the day, it would be tape, because when they operated it, you remember the story behind that? They would operate these in sandy environments, and the sand would get down in here and mess up some of the avionics, or also get around the fuel tank, and it would during the natural vibration, it would kind of start rub leak holes in the fuel tank there. So this was actually white tape, and most of the all of them now pretty much have just painted over to resemble the white tape, just to seal, kind of a gap seal. But thank you, brother.
Yep, no problem.
You remember the strut I told you about? Normally you get some silver, like anywhere from 2 to 4 fingers of strut shown right there. But if you notice, that's all the way collapsed, but that's how it's supposed to be now. And if you look at the Hell Diver, it's the same way.